I really wanted to love this one, but I kind of liked it. So here's the crux of Bleeding Love: real life father and daughter dynamic. Now, if you're a father or if you're a parent, for that matter, I believe this movie will be elevated for you because it has some universal truths to it. The crux of Bleeding Love is this: we're in a road trip. We're in a car for the vast majority of this movie, with a few pit stops here and there. Ewan McGregor and Clara McGregor play an estranged father and daughter. You find out through some kind of tried and tested, seen it all before plot devices that he is taking her somewhere on pretense, but it's actually somewhere else. Now, I need to go into a bit of detail here to explain this. So,
But just before we get into that, I noticed that there's still over 90% of you that have not subscribed to the channel. So if you like this guy and if you like the content that I'm bringing you, please do consider hitting that subscribe button. It helps me out so much with the algorithm and it allows me to keep bringing you that content. Let's get back to it.
she's a junkie, all right? Reformed, well, specifically alcoholic, but yeah, they imply she's also a junkie, right? He's said to her that he's taking her for a father-daughter trip. It turns out he's actually taking her to rehab, and she's not aware of that. Now, that's not cool. People need to go to rehab of their own accord, the same way as people need to go to therapy for their own accord, or it doesn't work. Like, that's just the truth. Where the movie has its power, unsurprisingly, is the chemistry between Ewan McGregor and Clara McGregor, because it hits home. I'm saying this as a father to a little girl and now a son. It's one of those situations where, as a parent, it's one of those nightmare scenarios, like, for a number of reasons. First, you never want to feel like you've failed your child to the degree that they can't even approach and talk to you about their troubles. That's probably the biggest one, even more so than the addiction on display here. Like, imagine being in a position where you're so estranged from your children that they don't even talk to you about their problems or even talk to you full stop. I mean, that hit me quite hard, the idea that that could potentially happen if the relationship between father and children, or parent and children, is not managed. She's got a lot of anger towards him on the basis that he left. He just flat out left. Again, story a lot of kids have been through. Why one of the parents just leaving? That's a universal theme there. We also find out that the reason he left was because he was a junkie. So there's some interesting ideology here of the sins of the father being inherited by the children, essentially. Thematically, this worked. Emotionally, this worked, and yet, and you know, on Clara McGregor's side, I guess the flip side is because she's portraying someone who's unwittingly going, unknowingly rather, going into rehab, and then finds out that she is and has a huge rebel about that, because, you know, she's standing on the soapbox of, what right do you have to tell me anything, bro? You left, which means you gave up your fatherly duties, and by proxy, your fatherly, yeah, your fatherly duties and your fatherly privileges. And you left to do the thing that you're reproaching me for now. Like, you ain't got a leg to stand on, brother. And she's right. But McGregor's kind of stance on this is, you're right, so don't make the mistakes I made. And he's right. So you've got this dynamic here with two people who are estranged, who are both correct, you know, rock hard place situation. It's hard to watch because it's so relatable. But here's where the problem comes in. The movie, it's quite heavy-handed. Like, it is quite bloody heavy-handed. And it doesn't, though it has good beats, it hits the right beats, the father-daughter dynamic is believable. It never goes to an emotional high that I wanted it to take me to. Emotional high is probably not the best word to use for an addiction movie, but you get my point. It's the plot devices are all kind of tried, tested, seen it all before stuff. The script is quite flat. Like, if it wasn't a real life father and daughter playing a father and daughter in this movie, and if it wasn't bolstered by great performances from Ewan and Clara, this movie would kind of be dead on arrival, to be honest. So, what can I score it? I think, oh, I hate to do it. I'm going to go 5.5 out of 10 for Bleeding Love. It's above average, but only just. Ewan McGregor and his daughter, they do star. They have a fractious relationship. It's tested on the road trip to Santa Fe, but uh, decent performances from real life father and daughter are just not enough. You know, it can't save this generic road movie about a man's attempt to wean his child off drugs. Um, yeah, decent performances from both, as I said, but the McGregors, they can't really breathe much spirit, alcoholic or otherwise, into the film's listless and generic screenplay. That's kind of the stance I would take on this. The genericness of the screenplay damages what is essentially some good themes and a good story at its core, but I wanted more from it, sadly. So those are my thoughts. Let me know what you all thought. Leave your comments down below, and I will see you all very soon. There's a subscribe button here, another video for you guys to watch up here, so go ahead and do all this. Lots of reviews and interviews coming out this week on the Silver Screen Dudes, so do please stay tuned to all of that. And yeah, keep it right here on the Silver Screen Dudes. Bye for now.